on what we're seeing in the market. I've gotten a lot of questions from you all around, what other clients are seeing, and so I wanted to just kind of give a broad perspective, and also if any of our previous recommendations have been updated. So let's dive in. So a quick non-marketing check-in. Last time I checked in, it was still earlier in the process. I know not all the states have been, fully put a shelter in place order, but most of us are in that place now. But last time we checked in about health, family care. I know a lot of you are wrestling with that, and overall concerns about the economy, both how it's affected you directly, but also friends and family and what might be coming in the future. And so again, that's the number one priority here. We know our attentions are all split between the news, taking care of family. If you don't have kids, still might have a partner that's now working at home with you. But if you have kids, we all know it's even more work and chaotic right now to try and work while everyone's home. So a lot of concerns out there. This time though, I wanted to check in on some quick mental health thoughts. I will not be giving any actual advice on this, but I know it is a time of stress for people, high anxiety. There've been a lot of articles written. I've heard from other business owners talking about, giving a stipend for their team for therapy or personal development, just to help them with this. Just something to think about for yourself. There's a lot of stress and pressure on everybody right now anyway, outside of work, but also to think about your team. Sometimes we think now's the time to start the big project. Everyone's home, less distractions, but there are a lot of distractions. There is a lot of outside pressure. So just be aware of taking care of yourself and taking care of your team. There's a lot happening. And the second thing, also around helping your businesses outside of just the ads, the Paycheck Protection Program is now taking applications. I've talked to, I think, everyone that's a client of ours about this, but just wanted to check in, make sure you've read articles on it. I'm not an expert, but what it reads like is anyone who is either self-employed, so if you're a freelancer or contractor or self-employed, you can apply, or if you have a business and there's a payroll where you're paying yourself and others, you can apply. And what this does is you can actually get a loan for 2.5 months of your previous payroll, and it'll be forgiven if the proceeds of that go towards payroll and a couple of other things during an 8-week period. It's only for companies, that are experiencing effects from economic uncertainty, but honestly, that's a lot of us just because there is so much economic uncertainty out there. So talk to experts. I am not one. Just want to make sure everyone's aware of it and has explored it and thought about how it might help them in their business. So next up, again, general disclaimer here. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not an economist or financial advisor. All of these opinions are my own. And so, just take my advice as advice, and then we'll move on here. Okay, so quick, before we dive into the update, I did want to talk about some client Q&A. So this is something I want to start doing. If any of you who work with us, or even if you're just watching this video, if you're a previous client or this gets shared to other people, I'd love questions. So if you have questions about what's happening in ads, what's happening in general marketing, the general marketing space that we're seeing, whether it's related to the current state of affairs or not, I'd love to answer some questions. Today's question, though, comes from Jasmine, one of our clients. This is actually on behalf of her community. She runs her own community of business owners, and they had some questions for her around ads and marketing, and so I wanted to make sure we touch base on these, and I think this might be helpful for everyone, too. If I've never run ads before, should I start now? Tricky question. Ads are as cheap as they've ever been right now. Total ad costs, we're seeing things be really cheap. If you think you have a product that could sell well right now, it's definitely worth exploring. But it's always dangerous to tell someone who's never run ads just to start running ads. It's an easy way to lose money. You want to make sure you have a plan, you have goals, and that you're able to measure, what you're doing. But it is a great time to start. I never recommend running ads to be the thing that saves your business, but if you're selling stuff, if your business is doing well, ads can be a great next step. So, with caution, things are cheap right now, and so you could make money if you have a product that people are willing to buy right now. Are big companies continue to pause their spends during this time? Yes. Every company's different, but we've seen a lot of money come out of the market, and we're seeing a lot more eyeballs in the market from everyone being home. And so I actually have a couple graphs that I thought were cool and interesting that I'll share with you in a minute that kind of really highlight what's happening right now with ad competition and costs. What small business ads are doing well? Why do you think? This is all across the board. So some businesses are doing exceptionally well right now on the business side. If your audience are, people that, if you have a product or offers about working from home, how to be more efficient, those types of things, those products are doing really well. A lot of business owners are home right now, not going out. They're still making money. A lot of employees are still working from big companies. They're all just working remotely. And so, they're buying things. But what we're seeing a real big jump in is kind of the distraction economy. I heard there's a business that sells watercolor prints, and then you can print them out and, do watercolors with instructions. They like quadrupled sales overnight just because people are sharing that organically in forums of like how they're staying distracted. So, if you have a product that you think, and this works for a lot of clients right now, maybe you don't have a distraction product, but maybe you have a course that teaches people something that they've been wanting to learn forever, and now they have time to do it. So we're seeing that work really well too. It's kind of across the board. If you don't think your product is a perfect fit for right now, changing your messaging, we're also seeing work well. Because a lot of times it's just some small tweaks that end up working. All right, so let me show you this competition. So what we're seeing across all client accounts right now, decreasing CPMs pretty much across the board for every client. Large brands have pulled out or are sitting on the sidelines. A lot more people are home during the day on social media and browsing and looking for something to do. One note about this, because all these new people are home at times they aren't normally home, this can cause your audience, like your lookalike audiences and some of your interest audiences, to behave differently. You might need to relaunch some campaigns or experiment with new audiences just so that the algorithm kind of reset and learn. So just a little caveat. But take a look at this. So this is just for our clients. And we have clients joining us, and so there is some variability there. Clients are in different industries too, so different seasonality also affects CPMs. But like we talked about last time, in case you forgot, CPMs, cost per 1,000 impressions. So all this means, and that's how Facebook is actually bidding in the marketplace to get your ad shown. So this is what it costs, and this is last year, January 1st to April 7th. You can see the general trend was a slight increase in CPMs across the board. And this is an aggregate across all of our clients. So this includes everybody, whether it's an e-com or a membership site or a coach. It's all kind of lumped in here, so it gives you a good feel for what's happening. Now take a look what's happened this year in the same time period, January 1st to April 7th. You can see it started off roughly the same, and then starting in February started to dip, but then really dropped in March. And so you can really see how much things are different right now. And it's pretty stark contrast when you compare it to last year, the same time period. So you see, up and down. Overall, this year CPMs have been a little cheaper. There is always going to be variability here because sometimes we have clients that are running more brand awareness campaigns or higher budgets that are seeing cheaper CPMs in general, and this can kind of mix in with the data. But look at right here. This is overwhelming how much costs have changed. And one way to think about it is under $5 CPMs right here. And for this same time period last year, it was touching $20 CPMs for a brief period of time. So that means, all things being equal, conversion rates and click-through rates, if you were spending $4 on a lead here, it's now a $1 lead because it's 4 times cheaper, or even more. So that's how to think about CPMs. Now, click-through rates are a little different, conversion rates might be a little different, but overall, that's what we're seeing with CPMs. And so even if you're seeing a downtick in sales conversion rate, oftentimes ads have been so cheap right now that the lower conversion rate is being made up for by just getting so many more people into your funnel. And again, this is why we're saying right now is a great time. If cash flow isn't your number one concern at the moment and you can afford building awareness and building your email list, it's a great time to be focusing on that. Current recommendations, short term, don't let concerns about the economy dictate strategy. I've seen some people already changing what they're doing without actually without the reason being something in their own business has changed. It's just more the fear of what might happen or what's coming. We're still seeing people buy. So if people are buying from you and you're still generating a profit and you're still hitting numbers that that work for you, keep selling. Don't stop. If you're in a good position with cash flow and you really want to press the pedal down and grow your audience, now's a great time to invest in building an audience. Promoting videos, opt-ins, growing your email list right now while it's cheap to grow your email list, and then nurture the heck out of them so that when it's time to sell to them, they're super warmed up and they're ready to buy. If you are concerned, if you're either short on cash flow or concerned about cash flow, maybe think about tweaking your strat. If you're still selling, keep selling, and maybe just be a little more focused. But if you are concerned right now, focus on lower priced offers or offers that ROI immediately. What this will do is help offset your ad spend, so that you're not spending a lot up front and waiting for it to pay off, on the second month of your membership or on the third month of a payment plan. Tripwire funnels, so it's an opt-in right to a sales offer, or even direct sales funnels where it's a sales pitch directly with maybe an order bump on the checkout page and then a higher priced upsell after. We're seeing these work really well, and this can be a great campaign to supplement your other campaigns if you're looking to help support cash flow right now. But whether you can afford to grow your audience or you need to focus on ROI immediately, adjust your messaging where necessary. Not everything has to be about the current state of the world. We're still seeing ads work, that were uplifting and that were working 5-6 months ago. Those ads are still working, but don't be oblivious. You can talk about what's happening. A lot of your audience is now home, working in conditions they're not used to working in. It's okay to touch on those things if it makes sense for your audience and your sales offer. And one note here too, just about whether or not you're concerned about cash flow. This is you can mix these strategies together. So if you want to, grow your list and take advantage of the lower price CPMs, you can still have a tripwire offer on those at the end of those lead gen offers. You can combine these strategies. It's not always an either or, proposition. Strategies for right now, and I say always because these strategies are ones that also typically work all the time, or for most people. But if you're focused on top of funnel growth, content ads to cold audiences. It's so cheap right now to run video ads with these low CPMs, and you can get a ton of viewers that you can then retarget. So one way to do this, and we're doing this with some clients already who've expressed interest, running video ads to warm audiences, so people already know you, and then picking the ones that get the best engagement, the number of people that watch the furthest into the video, picking those videos, and then promoting those exact videos with all the social proof from people that already love you to cold audiences, because those are the videos that did best. This is a great way to kind of have people who don't know about you become aware of you, get a little more experience about how you operate. Maybe you're teaching them something in the video, but also then we can retarget all those video views into lead gen offers. And so that's point 3 here, retarget all those video views. But also doing straight lead gen right now. Straight lead gen to cold audiences, that still works. Sometimes that's cheaper than trying to get them on video, get them to engage on video first. But then when you retarget, one thing you can try, besides just running opt-in offers to the video view audience, you can also try running engagement ads to that video view audience. So running ads designed just to get people to comment, to like, to share, just to engage with your ad, and then retarget anybody that engages recently with an opt-in offer. This is a nice way to kind of nurture people before they're even on your list. Sometimes they'll buy more. And because things are so cheap right now, because CPMs are so inexpensive, this can be a great way to play around with some of these strategies at a much cheaper cost. If you are focused on immediate cash flow, we already touched on that, tripwire funnel. Or a direct sales funnel. And again, the order bump is just a little radio button on a checkout page. It's like, you're buying these 5 templates for $20. If you want 30 templates, pay $10 more. You check the box, and it's an easy upsell on the checkout page. But we're seeing direct sales funnel work too. So if you're someone who's normally running webinar ads into a high price program, and it's slow to make the sales, even if it's profitable, and because everyone's on a payment plan, it's a profitable funnel, but cash flow is stretched. Mixing in some tripwire funnels and direct sale funnels are a great way to get cash in now to help support some of those longer term ventures. Adjustments to think about outside of ads. I'm already seeing some people talk about this. Again, if you're selling right now, don't change too many things. But there's a lot of uncertainty about the economy and when and what back to normal looks like. So for high priced offers, if you don't do it, you could think about putting a payment plan in place that might be more attractive. For offers that are live or long term, could you offer a piece of it for less, get people started? Maybe it's too hard for them to think about signing up for something for 12 months right now because everything feels so short term. But maybe like, I can do 3 months, at a third the price. Let's go, and you get them in. So you might want to start thinking about these things and not creating something brand new, but just pricing or structuring what you currently have differently. And one thing that I think everybody should think about if cash flow is a concern at all, for lower priced monthly memberships, if getting cash flow in right now is more important than maybe the overall value of that customer long term because you want cash flow today, offer a bigger discount on the annual plan or a 6-month plan if you offer that. Or if you offer installment plans and a full pay plan, say for a course, think about making the full pay plan cheaper so that more people take that and give you the cash up front. Just a couple ideas. You don't have to change anything now, but something to think about if you're trying to figure out ways to help get cash into your business today, and so you're not waiting on those payments to come in. Final thoughts. Keep talking to your audience, especially right now. I'm hearing a lot of objections coming from audiences that they don't normally have, like the ones I mentioned. They might still be interested in your high-priced offer, but instead of wanting to sign up for 12 months, they feel like they can only really commit to 3 because they don't know what's coming in the future. So if you listen to your audience, hear what they're saying, maybe you tweak what you're offering, maybe you definitely tweak what you're saying in your messaging to meet them more where they are. People are still buying across all industries, all companies, all audiences. We're seeing sales still happening. You might need to change your messaging. You might need to tweak your offers, but people are still buying out there. And so if you are struggling, think about what you could be changing right now. What are some tweaks you could make? Talk to your audience, figure out what their objections are, and make those tweaks. Next steps. For all clients, we continue to review all your accounts for short, medium, and long-term adjustments. We talked about this last time. We've already talked to most of you about anything we've updated based on what's happening. But we'll keep talking in the coming weeks about specific ideas for your business, especially if you're more interested in growing your audience right now. Testing out some of these video strategies and re-engagement strategies could be a really good focus. And then last thing, let's all continue to have patience with ourselves, our team, and everyone else. These are trying times. Kids are always welcome on all the calls with clients. So, you don't have to reschedule for us. I know it can be hard to take a call with family around too. So that's always fine to reschedule at the last minute if you need it. But that's it for this week's edition of What's Happening with Ads. If you do have questions, you have me, me in Slack. You have my email, Tony@intentionalspark.com. Honestly, I haven't shared anything in here that's confidential. The only ad data I shared was an aggregate, so no one's data was exposed. If you want to share this with friends or anyone that you think could find it valuable, I'm happy to do that. And let me know if you have questions that you'd like covered in my next video. Shoot me a note, and I'll make sure to cover those questions. Until then, take care.